Well, hello, everybody. It's great to have Brother Ben Hart on here today. How you doing today, Brother Ben?
Man, I'm doing great.
Let me see. Um, when did you how did it change where you are today?
Well, friend, that's a pretty neat story. I grew up in a pastor's home, and I made a profession when I was, and then did what church kids do. Went to church and did all those things, and me a big part of my life. So, I wanted to, because that was a pretty big part of my life, and that's where I got to do that. And then I went my dad was in evangelism when I was, I think I was 19. I was 19 years old. And the church that we were a member of, he was sent out of, we had a break. They asked me to go as a teen counselor in Arkansas. And I almost didn't go, and I went. And preacher got up and preached not anything different than I hadn't heard before, but man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'd realized that I was too young, and I hadn't really felt the conviction when I made the profession. And man, I went down there. I didn't have to really be told what to do. I'd been halfway preaching it to everybody else my whole life, and so I knew what to do. And ever since then, man, I've been saved.
Amen. What a great change He had made in your life.
That's right, man. That's what it's about.
Amen. That's what I tell everybody. I'm going to go and tell you this. If you don't know Jesus, reach out to somebody. That way you can have the eternal home with us one of these days in glory land. Amen.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
Brother Ben, what age did you begin to sing, and what was your favorite song? I mean, what was your very first song that you actually started singing?
I don't know if I can remember my favorite song, but I grew up listening to. My dad was a big bluegrass gospel fan, and
Mm-hmm.
then but all of us were Southern gospel fans. So we were a real conservative home. So that's pretty much all I grew up hearing. Besides 40s movies or 40s music on the movies or something, I heard some Sinatra in my house around Christmas time. But other than that, um, if I had to remember as far as I can back, I was really heavy listening to the Anchorman when I was a kid. Back when there was a guy named Steve Ladd was singing tenor and still sings right now. And I know Steve now. I don't know if I've told him a song called "Giver of Life," and I wanted to be a tenor back then, which I'm far from a tenor now. I'm a baritone at best. And but my voice hadn't changed yet, so I remember getting up and like I went to a Christian school, Apple. I remember singing that song. That's my earliest thing I remember singing. I'm not sure if that's the first one or not, but it was definitely early on.
Well, Brother Ben, you're a musician. What all the instruments you play? Which one is your favorite, and why is it your favorite instrument?
So that changes for me. Certain parts of my ministry and world. When I was doing it in the Southern Gospel world, and a lot of times in the church world, they definitely know me as a piano player. And I have a lot of students and stuff online. I have a online gospel style of piano. So I really, really love that. But I actually started on the guitar first and the bass guitar. But I started playing guitar in church first, and that kind of had the bluegrass thing. But I love. It depends on what I'm into. This last year's really been a guitar year, although I play both of them a lot. And I like the next year I could be back into the piano just a little bit more. But I love the guitar and piano almost equally. But each year it kind of changes what I'm really focusing on a little bit.
Well, Ben, I saw that you have traveled around with different evangelists like Pastor C.T. Townsend and others. Who are some of your favorite other evangelists that you traveled around with?
Well, I definitely a lot of them I'm just close to. I love I love Brother Ralph Sexton. When I came out with CT, see, I was with him before he was pastoring in evangelism for a couple of years, and
What?
then I was his music minister at Victory, where he's at right now, for a
Wow.
year and a half. So um But in my world, my buddy Nathaniel Hobbs is a pastor, but he preaches out real evangelistically. I'm there this weekend. My buddy Blue, I'm real close to Blue. I'm with here Sunday. I'm playing and doing music with Nathaniel Hobbs, but I've done stuff with Tyler Galden in the past. I love him. I don't get to see him as much as I used to, but but I did grow up with some older guys, and my dad is out in the Midwest a lot, but he's a preaching machine. Like he's more known out in the Midwest, and I'm a little bit farther east now. But like, man, Dad, and I'm not just saying it because he's my dad, but I tell you, he can deliver for sure, and he's an evangelist. Mm-hmm. But those are the guys that affect me, currently, and then in times past, I would say my father had the biggest impact on me for sure.
Well, Ben, what's the latest for your ministry? What's the latest for your ministry?
I'll just tell you what I'm working on. What I thought is I go to a lot of churches and I put on workshops and I help them get, I guess, to level. So and what the choir, which a lot of the churches I run with do, choir workshops. I just got back and I also, like, in a couple weeks I got a choir one, but I also work with the musicians there and help them try to focus in on what we do. And then also it's slow, but I'm working on some of my own music. I'm always creating music for everybody else. I record and do a lot of things like that and produce a lot of things. And I make a lot of music for churches and choirs, but I'm actually just for the first time in my life, it's kind of like that mechanic that's got his car breaking down. You're always fixing everybody else's, but your own. I never make anything for myself, but I did start doing it this year. In fact, I got one song that'll probably be coming out here shortly, and me and my wife sing together, and I'm going to put one of my friends, because I like the sound of a trio, each one different. In fact, I got to talk to CT about that here shortly. The first one that's coming out is my buddy Jared Dixon's on it.
Oh,
and so I'm excited about that.
Man.
Yeah, Jared's a great guy. Good musician, great singer, great preacher. Yeah.
I tell you what, you mentioned, my dream is to get Pastor CT on this broadcast. I would really love to get him on this broadcast. I really would.
CT is a good one to have, man.
You can talk. Maybe you give him a good plug for me.
I'll give him the old plug for you.
Yeah,
I'll do it, friend. Yeah, CT's the guy. I know he deals with a lot of when you're kind of the guy, you kind of deal with some criticism and stuff like that. But man, God's really using him. I mean, I've seen the back end. I know what he's like when he's not in the pulpit, and I promise you, he's the real deal.
Yeah, I actually, what's funny? I mentioned him. I was at Victory Baptist Church yesterday, and they got a fantastic choir, and I'm gonna tell you something, and a really fantastic pastor. And,
that's right. You were at the extravagant.
As I journey through this land, singing as I go, pointing souls to Calvary, to the crimson flow. Many arrows pierce my soul from without within, but my Lord leads me on, through him I must win. Oh, I want to see him, look upon his face, there to sing forever of the saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares all past, home at last, ever to rejoice. When before me billows rise from the mighty deep, then the Lord directs my path, he does safely keep, and he leads me gently on through this world below. He's a real friend to me, oh, I love upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares all past, home at last, ever to rejoice. So I want to see him, look upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares all past, home at last, ever to rejoice.